2026, so hard to believe. 2026, first meeting of the year. The Peachtree City Planning Commission to meet or to order. If everyone in attendance would please rise and join me in pledging allegiance to the flag of our country.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, great. I'd like to welcome everyone this evening. Our one guest this evening, thank you very much, and those who might be watching online. We're going to go ahead and just roll right along. We have any announcements this evening?
No, sir, not at this time.
Any presentations?
No, sir.
Okay. I was going to say, I know we have some agenda changes.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. We do have agenda changes. The public hearing that is shown here was added by error. That item will be heard at the 26th meeting, the January 26th meeting. And then also we would like to have, as our practice has been for the chair and vice chair, votes to take place as first action of the first meeting of the year.
Okay, so we have to have the elections this evening for the chair and vice chair.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So again, the text amendment on the short-term rental is properly scheduled for the 26th, so
Yes,
it will
sir.
not be this evening. And on to the elections. So what we're going to need, we need a motion from the floor for the chairman's position.
I would like to make a motion that Scott Rittenauer remain the chairman.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion for Scott Rittenauer as chair and a second. Any discussion on the motion? No. Okay, no discussion. All those in favor of Scott Rittenauer as the chair for 2026 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. I am chair for another year. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, now we need to do the vice chair. Do we have a motion for nomination for the vice chair? As such, I will go ahead and nominate Commissioner Andrew Kriz as vice chair again for this year.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for Andrew Kriz as vice chair. Any discussion?
I would have nominated him if I knew how to say his last name.
That's okay. We had that taken care of. So, all those in favor of Commissioner Andrew Kriz as vice chair for this next term signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Congratulations, Andrew.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you for being vice chair for another year.
Sir Chairman, I'm sorry. You didn't.
Yes.
We did not hear a motion, I'm sorry, for the change of the public hearing. There still has to be a vote
Yes,
to remove
okay.
that.
I was going to ask that and I forgot. So we need to go back to the change for the public hearing. So do we have a motion to change the date of the public hearing from tonight, the 12th, to the 26th of January?
Sure. I'll move to move tonight's public hearing to consider a text amendment to section 917 of the city's code of ordinances related to the short-term rentals to the January 26th Planning Commission meeting.
Okay, so we have a motion to change the date of the public hearing from the 12th to the 26th of January. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of moving the public hearing on section 917 to the 26th signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries and the public hearing is moved to January 26th. And thank you, staff, for bringing that up.
Yes, sir,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Okay, old agenda items. I'm sorry, approval of minutes. I'm skipping ahead. So hope everyone has had an opportunity to take a look at the minutes from our last meeting. Any additions, deletions, corrections of the minutes? Staff, anything from you?
No, sir.
Okay, so do we have a motion to approve the minutes as submitted?
I move that we approve the minutes from the Monday, December 15th meeting, 2025.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve the minutes from the December 15th. Do we have a second?
Second it.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve the December 15th meetings and a second. Any other discussion? No? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Minutes approved as submitted for the December 15th, 2025 meeting. Okay, now old agenda items.
None
Anything?
at this time, sir.
Okay. New agenda items. The first one, we have a landscape plan, and I am going to mispronounce the name of the company. Mija, okay. Appreciate that. Mija Construction for 407 Dividend Drive. And I see that's postponed. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that is postponed.
Do we need a motion on that as well, or no? Someone drew on the screen. There you go.
Do we need anything for that, for the postponement?
No,
Or is it
sir.
just-
Okay.
It's just
No, sir.
postponed, okay, thank you, yeah. So we have next the building elevation modifications for Biscuit Belly, 238 City Circle, and we'll turn that over to staff.
Okay. This property is located in the Avenue. And here's it shown on the zoning map. This is the new Trader Joe's here at the corner, so it's just down the way from there. The Avenue is zoned LUC 13 limited use commercial, and they are also located in the Highway 54 corridor district, overlay district, and so the Georgia 54 West design guidelines apply to this this request. So there is a new restaurant, Biscuit Belly, going into the space that used to be Highland Bakery and also Friends Table. The existing facade, you can see here, so the existing facade photos are on the left, the proposal is on the right, and these are the same views here. The existing facade is an unpainted red brick on the lower level there with a natural colored limestone block base. The upper portion, the second floor of the facade is a beige stucco. There are no changes proposed for that second floor, only on the first floor for the new tenant space. And the proposal is as follows. As you can see, the pictures on the right-hand side, they are proposing to paint the brick it's called Snowfall White. The accent paint, which will be located on the lighting fixtures right here, is called Poolside Blue. The storefront finish will be a dark bronze anodized aluminum, and they are also proposing these new wall sconces at the corner. So you see these right here, there's one here and there's one around the corner. That's where they're proposing to change out this fixture. The natural stone along the base will remain as is. As I mentioned, the state space is located in the Avenue, which is in the overlay district, and those Georgia 54 West design guidelines will apply. Those guidelines describe two different styles. One is called the traditional style, and the other is called the updated 2020 style. That 2020 is when we revised those design guidelines to include some more modern day types of architecture and finishes and features, that kind of thing. So the modifications that are being requested fall into this updated 2020 style, which states that design shall exhibit a sense of permanence and creative expression to create a combination of unique facades that express the specific retail brands while utilizing materials and accents to create a thread of consistency throughout the development. So I'm going to list a couple of the guidelines from this updated 2020 style. And in your report, I've sort of given a response to those, how this development relates to those requirements. So the exterior materials for the updated 2020 design submittal shall blend and complement the traditional exterior building materials. So the Avenue, as you probably are aware, is sort of a blend of the two styles. The paint color being proposed, Snowfall White, is neutral. It does complement the brick used in the development. And I do want to bring to your attention, I know you're familiar with the regular ordinances that say brick should not be painted. In this updated 2020 development style, painted brick is a permitted material. Secondly, accent colors shall be limited to no more than 15% of the total area for any single facade. In this case, that accent color is being used on the light fixtures, so it's a very, very limited amount. Moving on to just the general land development ordinance and requirements. General goals for architectural design that have been established include compatibility with surrounding development, as well as architectural innovation. Then color requirements are also established, and that states the predominant color should be neutral or earth tones. High intensity colors, metallic, black, or fluorescent colors should not be used. The paint color proposed, the snowfall white, Benjamin Moore describes that color as a bright white with a touch of warmth, so it does have a bit of warmth to it. Staff feels that color is a neutral color and appears to be compatible with the development. In addition, the applicant has stated that the proposed paint color matches the adjacent Hobnob Tavern restaurant, and they're right across the plaza from each other, on the, right across the sidewalk. As I mentioned before, in addition to the painted brick, the proposal includes those new wall sconces that you see up there. And let's see, the next, again, those colors and finishes are listed here. This is just another slide that shows you where the various colors and things are being used. The snowfall white is number 1, so all around here. Number 2 is the accent color on the light fixtures. Number 3, sorry, I had to jump around to get them to fit on here. Number 3 are the sconces, which are, again, at the corner, one here and one on this side. Sorry, I guess there's 2 different, it's the same color, but this is the color, and then this is an example of the storefront finish. And while it doesn't, well, number 4 is listed, so these areas here will have a slight, I think the existing color is very similar, but they're updating the colors, so it'll probably look a little more refreshed. And then just to give you an idea of some of the rest of the center looks like, here's the Hobnob Tavern with, they say, the same color, or if not very similar. This Souls tenant space is also a whitish color. There's a variety of, this is maybe more of a little bit of an off-white color. This tenant space has a whitish color. Anyway, just to show you how it's blending, or the proposal would blend with some of the existing tenant spaces. Should the commission decide to approve this request, staff has no recommendations.
Okay, great, thank you. Do we have the applicant or representative of the applicant here this evening? If you'd please come to the mic, state your name and who you represent.
My name is Bryson Brewer. I'm the Director of Operations for the Southeast, and I represent Biscuit Belly.
Okay, great, thank you. Do you have anything to add to staff's presentation?
Well, I was made aware this morning that the building has already been painted.
Okay.
This white. I found that out this morning and I'm pretty upset. I can guarantee you that no jumping ahead or anything like that will happen going forward, and I apologize for that.
Definitely appreciate that. Unfortunately, we've had a couple instances, and in fact, one just at our last meeting where work was done the same. So after we conclude this, I have something to ask for staff to do, if they would, but definitely appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to open it up for,
Can I ask a
yes,
question? So,
Commissioner.
who painted the building?
We've remodeled the inside already. We've already got it ready, and our GC general contractors already painted it with the approval of the landlord.
So the general contractor painted it?
Yes, sir.
With the approval of the landlord?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Can we go to the next slide? So my question, more out of curiosity than anything else, are they using the doors and windows that are already there, or are they changing it out? Because number 5
There
looks
is,
different.
sorry, yeah, there is some wood damage that needs replaced. So we will have to replace some doors on both sides. And we'll paint them the same color that's up there. We just need to replace the wood
Okay.
in some of the doors.
Okay.
Let me just say, I went by there to see the building on the way into the meeting, and it looks very nice. It fits in very nicely. I think overall it's a great job. There are several other structures there that are painted brick, so it fits in very nicely. I am a little bit concerned the fact that the landlord and the developer did not follow through on getting our approval.
Absolutely, and that's, like I said, that's one of the things I'm going to ask of the planning department afterwards. But, yeah. Commissioner Kriz, any questions
No
of
questions.
the applicant staff? Commissioner Halverson, questions?
No questions.
Commissioner Hamner, any questions?
No questions.
Okay, we'll just, I don't have any questions either. We'll stay with you. Any comments?
Just to echo the frustration of work being done before it comes in front of the planning commission. This is maybe the 5th time.
I was just gonna say, I think it's the 5th, yeah. Yeah.
So it's not good.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Okay. Commissioner Halverson, any comments?
No, sir.
Commissioner Kriz,
Uh,
comments?
I think it actually looks kind of nice, so I'm happy that you guys are doing this and reinvesting into the property, so it's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Commissioner Allen, any comments?
Any idea when they're going to open?
The goal is late April.
No, nothing else.
Looking forward to going there.
I was gonna say-
We're excited.
Commissioner
to be
Gunt,
here.
any other
No.
comments? Okay. No, and I, again, thank you for coming before us this evening, and yeah, as you can tell, we've had a few instances now that this has happened.
That was, it's not all 5 with
Yeah, no, it definitely isn't, and definitely, as several commissioners said, definitely look forward to seeing it. I did a little research into the restaurant. The ownership is very interesting, going from a pharmacy major and pharmacist to a kind of a breakfast and brunch restaurant ownership.
It's
So
going to be very good.
Yeah.
And we're, again, big part of the community.
excellent. We do appreciate that, so thank you.
You're so welcome.
Okay, with that, do we have a motion from the dais?
I'll move to approve the building elevation modifications for Biscuit Belly at 238 City Circle.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve the building elevation modifications, Biscuit Belly 238 City Circle. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion to approve and a second. Any other comments, questions, discussion? No? Okay. All those in favor of approving the building elevation modifications, Biscuit Belly 238 City Circle, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Building elevation modifications, Biscuit Belly 238 City Circle, approved. And thank you.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
that.
much.
Okay, so I guess we'll just go ahead and address this at this point in time, and I'm glad that, and I'm looking over to my left, but I'm gonna ask and not request, because I can't request, but I'm gonna ask if the planning department can send out or develop or write a letter, and especially it's actually a great time since it's the beginning of the year, to the major retail plazas and establishments, welcoming them into 2026 and gently reminding them that any modifications to the building or anything like that comes under the purveyance of the ordinances for Peachtree City, at the minimum, go in front of the building department, and whatever then needs to come in front of the planning commission then needs to come in front of the planning commission. I think it'd be a really good reminder to those, since we've now had this at multiple locations and not just one, that and I know there are open storefronts at many of the shopping plazas. So I think it's probably a good idea that if we could get something out to them, like I said, as a gentle reminder, it may be really good for all of us.
Yes, sir. So if I can add to your comments, we've had a number of actions where we've seen our processes kind of be overlooked a bit, not just here in the Planning Commission. So one of the things that we are working on is communication efforts, videos, emails. We're sending out notifications through our software systems. This could be one of the things we're adding to that list, because I think it's not intentionally, I think it's just a lack of knowing what the processes are. So we as staff are working on those things, and I'll add that to the list.
Okay,
moving
perfect.
forward.
And I know I appreciate it, and I'm sure the other commissioners appreciate it also.
Yes, sir.
And I agree. I don't think it's purposeful. It's we've had some new ownership come in to several of the plazas, retail establishments, from leasing companies, and they should. If I was coming in new to a new city or a new location, I would be checking as to what I can and can't do, or what I need to do. And unfortunately, that hasn't happened. Or modifications have been done, and like you said, somebody has given the go-ahead without following the process. So I think that's important, and I think that goes back then, and I'm looking at Commissioner Hamner to the UDO, and I know we've talked about it as to what can be done to put together, no better way to put it, some type of penalty for these situations where we run into situations like this.
I was gonna ask if there are repercussions for.
Yes. So your building codes, zoning codes, things of that nature has enforcement activities behind it to identify if there's a violation of these codes. We follow these procedures, and it lists that. What I will say is that that is a violation outside of the Planning Commission. It's actually a violation of the zoning code. So that is something enforced by code enforcement. That can be in fact enforced. For example, if tonight you decided you didn't want to hear it but you wanted to move forward with code enforcement actions, you could have done that.
Okay.
So you do have that ability to direct us to move forward with code enforcement actions for the zoning code.
What does that mean exactly? What would,
That means notice of violation, so that means they would then be responsible for going back to the natural, as best possible way that it was. They could be faced with fines in court. It could be so many different things. But I believe tonight we decided, or you decided, that it was comfortable moving forward. But that could be an action that you use moving forward if you desire.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that, and again, you're exactly right, that we could go back and say, no, it has to go back to the original, look and things. But that's something I don't think, unless it was something
It's an extreme measure.
extreme major that we would do. But yeah, I think it definitely needs to, however it needs, and to make sure that it's sent out there, those repercussions and penalties. And in my understanding, it could be up to, and I may be wrong, but my understanding is up to $1,000 a day. So for some that could be a very significant hit. Others it may not be as much, but it definitely puts people on notice and businesses on notice that you can't do things without getting approval.
Right.
So
You can still, excuse me, can I say?
yes, absolutely.
Does the codes allow for a fine?
Well, it doesn't state the fine. The judge makes that decision, because if it goes towards code actions, it goes before the judge to make that decision. But piggybacking off of what the chairman said, it does allow for up to $1,000 a day for the non-safety issues, up to $1,000 a day.
Safety issues.
Well, yeah.
Non-safety.
Well, the ones that aren't really pertaining to the
non-safety.
safety. Yes.
Yeah.
If they painted it bright pink,
I
we
see.
could charge
Right.
$1,000 a day for the change.
Yeah.
But I guess you could there just be, could the judge just have a one-time fine?
He could, or it just depends on how he.
Something like this, just to send a message, I could have said, let's just fine the developer $1,000, period.
Mhm.
Just to send a message,
Mhm.
so that he doesn't do it again in the future.
He could. He has the authority to go up to $1,000 a day.
But staff doesn't have that authority.
No, sir.
we don't either, it seems like.
No, sir.
For this UDO, I'd love to see like a contribution to the tree fund if someone comes to us, right? Maybe something, because we're talking about potentially reducing tree fund.
Native trees? Or-
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Contributions already with the other things. So maybe this is a way we can put more money back into it.
I'll take these concerns to the city manager.
Thank you.
So I think hopefully after, you know, the communication, some type of communication goes out, if we do run into that situation again, you know, that will be something that we can definitely consider, you know, going forward, and, you know, at that point in time, at least everyone is on notice again that, you know, it has to be approved. So give them an opportunity.
I have another suggestion.
Absolutely.
That time is money. And so we don't necessarily have to penalize them relative to a monetary amount, but we could say your job is stopped. Therefore, everything on that property stops until we get it approved for another 2 weeks, and you're going to see people jump.
That's a good point.
The only thing, as in this case, he knew that they were wrong. He showed up and said, hey, you know, I'm sorry, it wasn't supposed to be this way.
But he didn't follow the procedure.
No, it wasn't followed. I guess my only thought was if you got an organization, a developer that's a repetitious violator, yes. If you got a one-off, I don't know, I hate to see.
You have to treat everybody the same.
Do you?
Yep.
Well, and I think, like I said, I think once communication goes out, you know, hopefully again everyone is on notice then, as we go through. And like I said, I know there, depending on what shopping center it is, there are open storefronts. You know, those may or may not be filled in the near future, but at least, you know, they'll know, as well as any upgrades to anything that happens in existing properties. So I think it's important for people to know that.
Absolutely.
Okay, good, excellent. Okay, I guess that kind of may have actually gone into member and staff topics, sort of. But I know we do have one, which is the introduction of upcoming text amendments.
Yes,
So turn it
sir.
over to staff.
Thank you. I'm excited about this conversation. We took this item to council last week to give them an update. One thing that I would love for us to do moving forward is ensure that the two bodies are having an opportunity to know what actions are occurring in each hands. For example, I'm not sure if you know what happens after it leaves your hands and goes to council, but I plan to begin creating a full loop where once it's left your hands, you're able to understand what's next and where it landed with council. And the same with council, actually. So you'll see my presentation kind of gives that idea. So there were a total of 6 text amendments that we have either discussed, or you may hear of one tonight that's new, but just to kind of recap on some of these for the new commissioners maybe as well, so that we can know how to handle them moving forward and just so forth. So I'll present, and Chairman, if you're comfortable with me stopping as they ask questions,
Absolutely.
so be it. Okay, thank you so very much. So the sign ordinance. So we discussed this where definitions restricted roof signs. However, there's a portion of the code that allowed for a sign to be placed amongst a parapet wall that then allowed for it to be above the roof, which then technically became a roof sign. Recommendations, it was first initiated by council on the 7th of August. We brought it to you September 8th. Recommendation was given over. However, with there being a new council member on board, we waited until January to bring him into the loop at that time. Therefore, January 15th, we have advertised, which is this Thursday, for council to hear that action. And I'll move forward if there's not any questions. Awesome. Okay, so cosmetic tattooing and microblading. So as you may know, our code doesn't speak on this particular land use. It does restrict tattooing. We do not allow tattooing in general commercial or property zone general commercial. Cosmetic tattooing, microblading, or body art is a topic that was brought to us by the county, I think it was the county, trying to remember the name of the group.
I was gonna say, I think it was the
No,
health
it was-
department or health,
The health department? Okay.
might have been.
Okay, so Chambers of Commerce. Yes.
Okay.
And they brought it to us because they were starting to see a lot of businesses coming their way with this particular use. And so they introduced the idea to the city, and so council allowed for there to be a discussion of initiation for this item on March 20th. It was brought to the planning commission. We had a number of discussions on this item. We came to a recommendation finalized on September 8th, but just as I mentioned with the prior, we waited until around this time of the year so that we can bring it to the new council member once he was brought into his seat. We've decided for February 12th at 6:30 p.m. for that action. And if you need me to remind you of what that recommendation was, please let me know. Okay? All right. So native and invasive plants, I'm sure we are all aware of what that is. Well, everyone here at this table or this discussion has had an opportunity to weigh in on this item. It was initiated by council April 3rd. There again has been various meetings where the Planning Commission has had the opportunity to discuss. Most recently, December 15th is where we had our last discussion. We're still under review of this item for recommendation, and council is awaiting a Planning Commission recommendation to move it forward. Okay? For staff, I will say, once you're ready for it to go on the next agenda, just let us know and we can move that item forward.
And Director, I guess, let me go ahead. Yes, I was going to ask, do you have an update on that, Commissioner Hamner?
I wish I had a better update other than we had the holidays and all that good stuff. So this is homework for me. As you may recall, you saw in the minutes, I need to put together all the ideas that we have. I'm going to make a menu of all of them, from full native to no native, the scale of that, and then we can discuss some of those ideas from there. You recommended a good one to throw in as well, so it's kind of good that we waited because I think it's a good idea. But I will make a concerted effort to have that ready for February.
Okay.
Any
Thank you.
particular date you prefer, sir?
Let's just go for the first meeting in February.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So short-term rental, that was the item we removed from the agenda for tonight. It is advertised for the 26th. So going back to the purpose of that, so the World Cup, of course, will be here in Atlanta metro area, and so we are asking for short-term rental rules to not necessarily apply between the dates of January 1st through January 1st, 2026 to July 31st, 2026. That allows for there to be an opportunity for individuals to rent their homes, take upon this opportunity to allow individuals to visit our city and see the great things that we have to offer on the tourist side. And City Council initiated this in August of last year, and it will be coming before you on January 26th. We have 2 dates there because I've learned that we like to kind of talk about it a little bit first before we go into vote date. So I have it as January 26th, just to kind of see the language, and then February 9th as an adoption date, okay? And then it'll go before council on February 12th, which is the only council meeting that month, okay? Any questions on that one?
No, no, not a question, but a comment. Hopefully, this is pretty straightforward for that. So, hopefully maybe we can get that done in one meeting.
Yep, and it was pretty clean. I'll be
Yeah.
honest and say that the city attorney drafted it. It was very clean, very easy language to place in there.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, here's your favorite, parking ordinance, golf cart parking. So I'm sure you're familiar as to what's being proposed here. We took it before council. January 5th, they initiated this item to move it forward. But I will say staff is eager to learn what are your thoughts that you would like to see in the ordinance language so that we can begin bringing the language back to you for the January 26th date of consideration.
So I think I had mentioned something before. Obviously, I'm very interested in the opinions of my fellow commissioners, of course. But the thing that I had requested as an initial idea would be to allow the substitution of up to a certain number of required parking spots to be utilized for golf cart parking spots instead. So I think the number that I came up with previously was like 5.
Okay.
But that's just an initial idea.
So let's elaborate a little. So if 20 parking spaces is required for a business,
Correct.
how would the golf cart
So,
play a
so the
part in
math
that?
would come out, you would have 15 in the land, in the site plan, and then you'd have 5 that would count towards the required five that you need to get to 20, that would be golf cart parking. So you're allowed to substitute a certain number.
Equally.
Yeah, that would be my proposal.
Allowed or required?
Well, allowed, you're not required, it's
Okay.
it's allowed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you open to there being some feedback from the engineer, from staff to identify how that?
Of course,
okay.
yeah, of course.
Okay. Okay, and I know previously you mentioned an incentive. Can you relate on that, or kind of, do you remember that?
I don't recall. I don't remember. I mean, I think we could build in an incentive to do so. I think maybe you could reduce the number of required parking, but I don't really love that idea. I think where we have seen problems is where there's a certain number of required spaces. The amount of land is restrictive in terms of where they can actually put these things,
Okay.
and so they have to have these spaces, and then there's no room for golf cart parking.
Okay.
A good example of that was the pickleball facility that's over by MOBA. They had to have a certain crazy number of spaces, and they couldn't find additional spots to put the golf cart parking in.
Okay. Awesome. So staff will begin drafting, to be prepared to bring it back, for some sample language. I will add that the city manager has asked that we look at the full parking ordinance, to identify where there may be some needs to, revise the calculation for some of the parking requirements. For example, there are some, industrial uses that would not necessarily require so much parking. And then when you find that there's so much impervious surface created that's being not necessarily used, we find an issue. So he's asked that we look at it collectively for the entire ordinance.
And I think that goes the opposite direction too for medical facilities, doctors' offices that we know we've seen it need additional parking. So they're kind of maxing out their overage almost, coming back and requesting additional. So I think that's on the other side.
Okay. Are there any other areas for land use that you all may think should be looked at a little closer, like the medical facilities?
Banks
Yeah.
is the other one I've had discussions about with some applicants.
To increase, correct?
Increase.
And in the industry, hospitality is actually reducing because of the amount of Uber people are using. So we're finding in my practice that we don't have to provide as much parking for that typology because people aren't using it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If there are any more opportunities where it just pops up in your head, just send me an email, just the thoughts. We'll,
When you say hospitality, I mean restaurants,
Hotels.
hotels?
Hotel.
awesome. And the last one's pretty easy. So we have seen where the code has a restriction that gives a only allowance for lighting types. And so LED has not been listed there. We've allowed it in the past. City projects have used it. Private properties have used it. So with that, staff is asking just to simply add LED as one of the allowed uses. This is a very simple text. That's what staff has asked council to consider. That may be new to you tonight, but that is definitely something that will make it a lot easier for us on the planning side to move forward developments.
I think a good example of that is what several of us worked on with the Highway 54 West overlay.
Okay.
When we worked on that and revised it, that I believe it'd be good to probably go take a look at the language that's in there.
Okay.
Because I know we did talk about and we did add language for LED. I'm not sure exactly what it says off the top of my head, but I know we did, as well as because I know there were specific light fixtures and light types that were called out, and some of those fixtures and types do not exist any longer. So we opened it up to that, and I think we did make recommendations for LED at that time.
Okay, do you know
I'm
how
pretty
far
sure.
back that possibly would have been?
What's that been?
3 years ago.
3 years, 4 years?
3
4
years sounds right.
Yeah, about 3 years ago. Yeah. So it'd be the latest, whatever the latest Highway 54 overlay is.
Okay,
Mhm.
that's good news.
There should be some allowance, some language in there somewhere, I think.
So I think we did that in 2020/2021.
Okay, so maybe about 4 years then. Yeah, time flies. Okay.
Great. Well, that's all I have for you. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, I know I said a moment ago, native plants for the first meeting in February. We're gonna be pretty stacked, so I'll actually move it to the second meeting
Okay.
in February.
That'd be great. Okay. So if you all are comfortable with those dates, that is the listing that I gave to council as well, so that we can be done with our edits of things and adoptions for council in mid-March. So that's a number of things that we're drafting. That's one of the reasons why the UDO has come about, is because these are things that we're seeing to move us forward on a day-to-day motion. So I think we're doing really good. I think each of these council is pretty excited about it as well. Again, you all have partnered with them, so I think you are excited about it, and I think it's gonna help us move forward with the developments as we see them.
And I have to say thank you. This is excellent. This definitely closes the loop as to things that either originated coming out of the Planning Commission or originated coming out of City Council. This is a really good overview to show us and them, as well as anyone else, exactly what's happening and where things are along the process, in addition to what may be coming down the road for all of us. So thank you very much. This is excellent.
Thank you, Chairman. I think maybe if you're okay with it, we can make this a frequent thing. Maybe if there's an opportunity where maybe mid-year of each items that have gone before, if you would like, or maybe quarterly, whatever your choice may be.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how many we have going through. I mean, if we do have quite a few, where things like this, we do have quite a few coming up, so maybe a good quarterly.
Right.
If things, kind of slow down a little bit on some items, then, maybe.
Rezonings, annexations,
Yeah.
things of that nature.
Any major things that maybe just, like you said, have a good quarterly overview
Okay.
of what's happening. I
Okay.
think that'd be good.
Awesome.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, anything else from staff? Yes.
Can I just get a confirmation of when we want to have another UDO meeting?
I think we agree that it's at the last meeting of each month, correct?
Correct.
And
So-
you're comfortable with it being this month on the 26th?
That's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
we just automatically put on the agenda for the last of every month.
Well, I just want to make sure we had something to discuss and we want to move forward with that.
Yeah, so one thing that I can give you, and I'm happy you mentioned that, Laura, one thing that we can discuss, so I've been working with the finance department on the RFP,
Mhm.
right? It has not yet come to a finalization, but I know that is something that we wanted to share, but I know that was one of the things that we don't release it till it's released. It's
Sure.
kind of a weird, sticky situation. So I could give you a summary of what those components are, but we have not released it as of yet to the public as we're finalizing the language. The goal is to release it this month. There is another RFP on the table that our office is handling, which is the annexation plan. Not sure if you all heard about that. So in addition to that, that is ending this week and will be open for consideration soon for that item. So we didn't want to have two projects kind of going on at the same exact time. So we'll be releasing the UDO before, at least by next week. So I can give you a summary of what that includes. It's basically simply asking for the various different ordinances to be compiled, confirmed, to not have legal conflicts, just kind of making more illustrative, because that's one of the things that Laura will tell you, because she's eager to see it in drawings. It makes it simplify, right? Because looking at a text, trying to translate that can be very difficult, but when you see the pictures, it makes it simple.
Absolutely.
Right, so those are the things that we're looking for, and we're actually pushing very heavily for it to be a local contractor to help with those files, so that we can have someone here to present. We're hoping that when there is public involvement meetings, this is still something the committee could still push forth as a committee, but still having for the opportunity to, when it's being drafted, you're playing a part in it completely. You're not taken out of it. You're still, the feet on the ground telling them what you desire it to be. So it's not taken away from you all by any means.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay. Well, good. So looking forward to the first UDO of the year, and then things moving forward to that from that. Okay. Anything else, staff?
No, sir. Thank you.
Anything from the commissioners? No? Okay. With that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay. Well, let's have a motion. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Okay. We have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion to adjourn in a second. All those in favor of adjourning signify by saying